Bring your motherfucking receipt and show us so we could support you. If not, shut the fuck up. Come out hot, if I can ask you about Jacob.
We had an inappropriately close friendship.
Okay, I'm gonna press you.
The casinos cheat.
They cheat how?
What's up, guys?
You're right, you're wrong, you're right. What am I gonna put on a pair of glasses and
Yeah,
a
no,
nose
I
and
remember.
walk in?
Telling everybody I'm the best.
I can't punt. That would look bad.
The mental anguish.
This is what my plan was from the beginning, is that nobody remembers her name. All right, this is the Nick Vertucci Show. I am Nick Vertucci, and I am here with Veronica Brill. I know, I said your name.
Wow.
Vernica, and the golden boy, Mariano.
Hello?
Mariano, it's been a year, about a year or more since you were here. I looked it up.
Yeah, I was actually meaning to ask you how long it's been.
Yeah, it's been at least a year because YouTube says a year, so
There
maybe
it
it's
is.
more.
Yeah.
But lots been going on in this year from when you were here to when you were on last time till now, and we're going to talk about it.
Sounds good. Thanks
yeah.
for having me,
Yeah.
by the way. Thank you, guys.
It's our pleasure. So just, what's today's date today?
9th.
It's the 9th, so record reflect that it's March 9th. I say that for the purposes of when I say that, I played in the game with you on Thursday. Today is Saturday, and then you played last night. The reason I bring that up is because you texted me last night at like 11:30 and said, do you really need me? And the reason you did is because, and I totally get it, I've been there, is you've been, I believe, on a bit of a downswing as of recent, but on Thursday, you, I think, lost 50, okay? And last night, 175. So that's a big chunk of change,
numbers.
close to $250,000, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that there's been a little bit of a spin the other way. This is common in poker for two reasons. One is we understand there's variance, and sometimes it can last an awful long time, and it's brutal. Starts to even make you wonder if you even know what the fuck you're doing. And then the other thing is you're playing on streams, so you probably struggle with finding ways to give action and trying not to lose everything that you own. And so, you and I have talked about this a little bit, off mic. And so I just want to talk about that because I think it's like a really big thing in poker that poker players experience. And then if you are a stream player, it's also something that you deal with in battle. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of people already know that playing on streams, you have to be someone who's fun to watch, not just win a bunch of money. So it's always a fine balance between trying to be a fun player, but also, like you said, not lose everything you have.
Yeah. And, people are fighting for seats because I think factually those are the best games around. And like we talked about, kind of the only games around at that level.
Yeah.
Because right now you go into a casino and you got to grind a 510. And if you go into 510 or a 1020, it's just all day regs.
Yeah, to play like high stakes, it's either streams or private games, and I don't play private games.
Ditto.
So
yeah, those are a lot of risk.
Right.
Yeah, so when you say you want to be a fun player, is that being fun because you need to be invited back to Hustler? If you're not fun enough, they won't invite you? Or is it because you've got a YouTube channel to maintain and you're using that content?
No, it's not for my YouTube channel. It's just because, for the show and the players and the audience, no one wants to see someone who just plays super tight and tries to maximize every edge all the time. Well, some people do, but
What are you trying to say?
myself, actually.
No, I'm joking.
So yeah, let's then talk about kings.
Yeah, so that's just awful for a stream, things like
It's
that.
okay.
Yeah.
What was going on there? Are you an airball fine or?
Oh, yeah, we're fine. We talked since everything's cool.
Yeah. We're going to get more in depth in that in a little bit.
Okay.
So it's good we touch on that because that's going to be a big part of what we talk about, because in poker politics and streaming, a lot of this shit goes on the regular. A lot of people don't know how difficult it is not only to be a player and to navigate through this landscape of personalities, bankrolls, expectations, but also on the game running side for Ryan and I, it's tough because, when these personalities come to you, it's like, there's truth and rightness in both areas, right? And vice versa. And so it's a real tough thing. We'll talk about that in more detail of like how you resurrected that, what happened. So right now, compared to the last time you were in here, how would you say it's different for you, like in your bankroll, in your attitude, just compared, like when you came in here kind of fresh-faced, right? And now you're in here not so fresh-faced, because the reality of this business, and especially if you're in a downturn, I guess, what are the differences for you? How are you different? I want to talk about a few things about like how you were able to get from, even last year, we talked about how we got from a pizza delivery to this, but you even have escalated it up as far as the stakes you're playing from then, the amounts you're winning and losing. You went on a sun run for a while. We'll talk about the differences in players, how they are to you when you're winning and when you're losing. I know that firsthand too. But how are you as far as your attitude, bankroll, and generally speaking, now that you're more matured in poker?
Okay, that's a lot of questions
it's a lot,
packaged into one.
But it's kind of,
You gotta let him do this.
No, no, I like it all.
I just didn't want to go, what's your bankroll? Or go,
yeah,
how's your attitude? So
No.
I kind of wanted to just make it.
Those are all
Beautiful.
good questions. Good questions. You're right. Last time we spoke, I was fresh-faced in here, and now I feel like a weathered, dead inside veteran. And it's only been like a year.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do this for like 10 years. If I'm still playing in 10 years, stop inviting me to these things.
All right.
But no, like I would say generally it's been an awesome year, you know?
Yeah.
That's poker. You get your ass kicked, and sometimes you kick ass, but overall, like, my life is pretty sweet, and it's a lot in part thanks to Hustler Casino Live and YouTube and the way things went. So I would say overall life happiness, great. Bankroll is fine. You know, we're taking some dents. We're taking the ship has begun to sink a little, but it hasn't sunk.
A little water has come on board.
That's right.
Yeah.
But like, I think I'm okay. And in terms of my attitude towards poker, I feel like this time last year when we spoke, I was super excited to try to become one of the Hustler players. And I feel like that has happened over the last year. And now kind of being on the other side of it, it wasn't exactly the way I expected it to go. It was a little differently. But overall, I'm happy with the way things went. And I don't have very many regrets with the past year. And even what happened last night and a couple days ago. So, yeah. Yeah.
So before I ask you the next question, Valerie, if you have anything on that.
So you're on a downswing right now. Like how much is too much? How much until you go down in stake? If you do.
We're not close to that yet, luckily. But so what happened was I went on this sun run like Nick said last year, and then I started losing near the end of the year. And then this year I was winning a bunch again, and then now I'm losing again. So it's kind of just been like doing this for the last 6 months now.
What do you think it is? Are you not playing well? Are you?
Yeah, so I'm playing way worse. I'm running worse, and I am being less disciplined with my decision making. So it's a combination of all those things.
Why are you being less disciplined?
Not sure. Probably like pent up frustration, and also trying to navigate the landscape of like not being some super tight pro who's playing on these streams when everyone else is like trying to have a good time and gambling a lot more. So yeah, probably just, and variance too. Like as boring as it is to hide behind that excuse, which it kind of is an excuse, but there is,
it's not
actually some degree to that
it's
too,
not
you know?
actually. I've really dug into that now that I play poker often versus when I was just showing up here and there. It's a real thing, and you can go months in a downswing, and you have to be financially and mentally prepared for that. Let me just ask you this: do you have 100% of yourself?
Yeah,
mostly?
always.
You always have 100% of yourself.
Unfortunately.
No, not really. I feel more pressure the other way if I ever had to. I never have sold a cent, but
I'm just too afraid to do it.
Yeah, I would be too. Do you feel? What do you feel it's more? Do you feel it's more the variance and bad play because you're frustrated and chasing, or the politics of being in a stream and taking heat from other players if you're winning too much? How much of a balance is it there?
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly where that line is, but it's definitely both, and it's been more at some times than other times. Like last night, it was mostly just me being an idiot. I didn't feel much pressure to like be good for the game. Last night was a lot of good players.
Yeah,
it was a tough game. So.
It was a tough game, and it was playing big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no need for me to like try to be crazy action in a lineup like that at all. So that was just poor discipline, poor decision, and the cards just didn't fall my way.
Yeah,
too, so.
you seem frustrated. I tuned in towards the end. I watched on and off, back and forth, and I saw you play a hand without looking.
Yeah.
And you put 25 grand in the pot and said, I need to take a look now. And I saw another hand where you had 8 high, 8-6. It came Jack, Ace, 6. You had a 6, and you bet into 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't do that normally or know better than that. So it just seemed like you were really off kilter yesterday.
Yeah, I was just blasting for no good reason.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Do you think that there's a part of that will help you get into more games? Like, I'm alluding to like top pros who are basically not able to get into a lot of games because they're just too good.
Yeah, you know what's sad about the whole situation is I don't even want to get into other games. Like, I don't care that much. I'm not trying to get some sick invite into like Keating's game or some other private game in Texas or something crazy. Like, I don't want to play any more poker than I'm playing now at Hustler. I'm happy with how often I play. I play like once a week.
Yeah.
Over with you guys, and that's like for what I have going on in my life right now, that's perfect. So there's even less incentive to light my chips on fire, and yet I do it anyway. So pretty pathetic, but yeah, no real like reason I'm doing it. Yeah.
What do you think now that you didn't know a year ago when we were sitting here? What are the couple of things that stand out the most that either you've learned a lesson from it or you just didn't see coming, etc.?
That's a good question. I think the main thing that's different is I thought it was all about skill set in terms of like technical ability, poker. That's what I thought it was all about last year when you and I spoke.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like who's the best and that's all that matters. And then since then it turns out that it's hardly about that, but it's about the social interactions and what the audience thinks, and there's just so much more to it about winning in these games than how good you are at poker. So could you have any specifics? If not, it's okay. No, yeah, like for sure. I mean, last year I was like obsessed with studying how to play well, and I wasn't really focused on much else. And now I have hardly looked at that stuff as of late, and I'm mostly trying to like network and be good with people and make relationships that count, stuff like that.
So Val, go if you have something, because then I got my next thing that I want to
go ahead.
That. So, okay, on that point, let's just get to it. What we're talking about without talking about it is you, and we've talked about this off the mic, you generally have been known as a winning player. You went on some heaters, plus you're a good player and you're studied and you're winning. And hence why your bankroll is still healthy, because you did a lot of winning. One thing that I can attest to that we talked about recently is that when you're winning a stream game and you're winning regularly, you are going to get under the skin of people, even if you're not doing anything to get under the skin of people. Okay? That happened to me the first year and a half when I was up a ton of money. I had everyone pissed off of me. Then when you start losing again, everyone's cool again and they apologize and the whole thing. So for you ran into a few things. You ran into, we'll just say it, we ran into Nik Airball and Andy both thinking that you were playing in a way that wasn't right for the game, and they were giving more back to the game and you weren't. You had a pretty big thing with Andy, and then Nick, I think you also did, and then the hand came, we'll talk about with the Kings, which you were legitimately making a decision. You probably knew you were calling, but you know, whatever it was. So in those situations, do you feel that maybe you made an adjustment too far the other way because you panicked over the social aspect of being accepted and getting a seat?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wasn't consciously making a decision to like, all right, it's time to punt my stack now because people are starting to get annoyed with me winning and playing tight.
Yeah.
I didn't tell myself I'm going to do that, but then it sort of inherently happened. So it's probably a subconscious thing where I was like feeling that pressure in the back of my mind, because I don't want to be that guy. You know, everyone's like giving action, playing bad. Like, it's no secret that Nick and Andy butcher hands left and right, and they know they're doing it. And I wasn't doing that. And like, there's not really a place on the stream for someone who's like sniping.
You mean they know they're doing it so that they can get action in the future?
I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to understand their reasoning. I think, you know, they're smart, especially Nick. Like, he knows what he's doing. People think he's terrible, and I think he's pretty good. So, you know, he's he knows what he's doing. Andy, like, he's a little more mysterious to me, so I'm not sure what's up with him. But yeah, these guys are like giving action, and they know how to win while playing loose and being attractive to the audience. So yeah, I felt like a little bit of heat because I don't play that way, and they weren't interested in having someone like me around. Despite me having like a good personal relationship with Nick, Andy, I don't know him super well personally, but Nick, like, he and I were always friends. But when it came to like poker, he was like, yeah, I don't care to play with Mariano, and I don't really blame him, you know.
Just so everyone, Nik Airball. Obviously, when you were first saying, I'm like, what do I have?
No, yeah, Airball, you know, like, and I don't blame him at all. If I was in his shoes, like, giving all this action on a downswing as well, as far as I know.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Like, I basically just told you recently today that if Andy and Nick were winning and up a ton and they were on a sun run, they wouldn't even notice you winning or losing. Yeah. That's just how that is, right? Like, you know, I had the same situation like when I was winning, like with, and I'll say it because we're friends, even to this day, like with Ronnie. Like, Ronnie just resented the way, you know, I was winning and sun running and hitting all the time, and maybe not in his opinion doing whatever like you were talking about now, and literally nitpicked everything I did. It didn't matter what it was. There was just like this vibe, and with a few more players too. And then I kind of, then Jack 4 happened, and I kind of did what you did, which I was getting frustrated with the heat, and then I just started losing, and then, you know, we're all buddies again, right? So it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Nik Airball and I have like a pretty clear relationship in both departments. Like, we have the poker relationship where we're kind of just co-workers, if you will, and we don't really vibe. And then off the table, I think we're cool. Like, we, you know, he doesn't have anything against me personally, as far as I know. And
you guys have talked this out.
Yeah, and I think that it makes perfect sense. Like, if I was in Airball's shoes, where like he gives a ton of action, he's great for the stream, etc. Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in playing with a Mariano either. So I think I felt that like subconsciously and started just punting harder and being.
I think there's a way to go about it and not so drastic.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you could argue that all day. I'm just trying to explain like what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure.
Something like that. And with Andy, I can't really speak much to it because I don't talk to him as much, and he's been MIA for a little bit now. So, So that's the story behind my downswing, and also the cards just not going my way. I'm not going to pretend it's all fully under control, because just like last year when I was on, you know, this sun run, you can't attest that to me being amazing at poker. I think you also can't attest me being awful the last few months to how much I've lost. You know, there's so much randomness in it.
Oh, totally.
So much, like,
it's so complicated.
It's crazy how much people want to say is like skill dependent. It's really not. There's so much randomness to it.
Well, isn't it like that? Like, you can be in a private game, whether it's Hustlers or wherever, and you'll get one guy that has an experience with another player that he's always beaten and just thinks is horrible. And they're like, oh my God, he's the best for the game. And then you got another guy that can't beat that guy and thinks differently of his game. And he's like, I fucking don't want that guy in the game. He's a total da-da-da-da-da. And
absolutely.
And it's so, like you said, to your point, it's just dependent on like what's happening and how the cards fall that weekday, month. And that's what a lot of people that I think watch, or like even in the chat, like, they don't understand the stuff that is going on, because when that happened, you know, I was the point for both, right? Like, I had Andy contact me and was frustrated, and he was really punting off, in my opinion, too. Like, I'll just say it. I hope he agrees with it. I think he said it when he came here, that he was, and he maybe had something else in his head too. And he was extremely frustrated, probably because of how it was going, and then called me, and I'm like, oh fuck, because like, you're my friend. I want you on the show. I want him on the show. But that's what I've been telling people for years now, is like, this is the toughest part about running a show. It's like, I'm not going to play if he plays. Well, if he plays, then that guy's not going to play. And if that guy, and then it's like, well, wait a minute. How do we keep all the players playing that we want to play, that we like, and, you know, want to keep in our, you know, in our corner, if you will. And it's very tough. And, you know, I don't know how the Andy thing worked out. I don't really know if you guys talked. I think you tried. I don't know, because I can't remember how that worked out. Now, I know he's not here to play, but did that work itself out, or did that just not get dealt with?
I don't want to touch on that.
You don't? Okay.
It's just like between me and him, and
fair.
You know, Mama said keep that business.
Read between the lines on that one. Okay, we won't push it.
No, I mean we're fine.
Okay,
as far
cool.
as I know.
Okay,
it's
good.
Just,
Yeah.
You know, as an observer and someone who watches Hustler Casino Live, it's in some ways I would think it's like WWE, where it's like staged drama, but like every time I interview you guys, there's legit stuff happening.
So annoying. I don't want any of the drama. Like,
You don't?
I don't.
No, he doesn't.
I don't care
I could
for
tell
it.
that.
I just want to be left alone. Like, I just don't give a shit.
But like, it seems like if you're playing on a live stream, especially something like Hustler to me is like a completely different. You know, it is not Poker Go. It is like almost the opposite of Poker Go.
It's a reality TV show.
It is a reality TV show, and we've got pre-existing characters, and they keep coming back, and there's drama, and all kinds of shit happens. So it's surprising to me that you don't want that, but this is what Hustler is.
It's inevitable. You can't.
You love it. Just admit it.
No.
I do, yeah. Just wake up every day just itching for
more drama.
Who's gonna beef with me today?
Yeah. That's what a lot of people think. They think that, like they've said it before in our chat and here in the comments, like, oh, this is just staged shit. There's never been one thing that we have staged. And
it's not.
Have
staged.
you ever been asked to argue with anyone or make a scene?
Not. I wish it was staged so there could be an excuse for some of the things that have gone down. But
when I get those calls, I'm like, my heart drops because I'm like, fuck, because I know it's going to be almost close to impossible to make everyone perfectly happy and to keep the wheels on, right, for all the players.
Dude, you don't have to worry about me. I have never asked who's in a game or please keep this guy in.
Oh, no. You have never done
shit.
that.
Like, I just want to play.
Do you think people should be allowed to do that?
I mean, it's tough to say. Personally, I think, like, if you're a winning player, you just shut the fuck up and play.
Yeah, because you're given an opportunity that you can't get anywhere else.
If you're a
right?
whale, though, you should be allowed to ask for.
I mean, if you're playing recreationally and you know that you lose and you just want to like have fun, then you're essentially paying for like entertainment and a chance to win. And if that's not being provided by the host, then you have an absolute right to either not play or indicate the terms under which you'd like to play.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, like if I was some billionaire who doesn't know how to play, I don't know, let's say Connect 4, and I want to play Connect 4 for high stakes, I'm not going to go play against some killer Connect 4 players. I want to play with other guys who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's that simple, And if there's some killer Connect 4 player, like, he can't complain. Like, just play. That's
you don't want to be poached, basically, as a whale. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I hate to draw that line between, like, good and bad or rec and pro, because these days those lines are so blurred. There's so many rec players who are better than pro players, especially at Hustler.
Yeah.
I would argue that we have some recreational players that are better than our pros, if
Agreed.
you will.
Yeah.
And I would argue the other way too, So I don't mean to like kind of create this dichotomy between the two.
It's already there.
It's there, and like I just think if you're winning and you're a good player, you're like, just hush and let Ryan do his job. Like, he already has so much on his plate. Credit to Ryan too. He handles it really well, I think, for how hard it is. I know because I've put games together. I had my private game at Hustler for like a year. I've had games at Morongo where I used to play, and I know what you're talking about when it's like you're trying to make everyone happy and it's impossible. You're juggling all these people. So I know what it's like to be on the other side, and I try to just be as little of a headache as I can be. I just show up when Ryan tells me, and I don't show up when he tells me not to. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're a winning player, that's what you should do.
Do you have a rating system? Just kidding. Bang, bang. So you don't have to answer.
In his head, probably. Everyone does.
Yeah, sure he does. Are there any relationships you made that you didn't expect, and did you lose any you didn't expect because of this weird business we're in?
Yeah, actually, I made a few friends that I didn't see coming. Like, I get along surprisingly well with Nick, not to keep touching on that.
Airball?
Go ahead.
I don't know why, but he and I have just always vibed. I think it's because we sort of like came up together at the same time, although in different styles. But Nick, he played once on stream with me, like way back when he was Nick Arcott on stream. And so did I. And we both had like nothing. It was like 10K or 5K or something.
I remember those days, yeah.
Yeah, and so he and I, like, we go back to like the origins. We even played at Morongo once. Played like 2-5 or 5-10, and I feel like we were just always kind of cool, and I didn't see that coming, so I didn't expect to be friends with that dude, and that happened. And then I thought I would get along with some people that I didn't end up getting along with very well, so
Who?
Well, obviously
We just
Andy.
brought it up.
You know, like
yeah, Andy.
Yeah.
obviously Andy. Like
Yeah.
I looked up to him and I thought everything was cool, and then it kind of, you know, it didn't work out that way, and that's fine. Like everyone has a right to an opinion and to like and not like whoever they see fit. I just didn't see that coming. That's all. you know?
Yeah.
But that's all right. Like we're big boys. It's
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
I really honestly believe in my gut if at that time that he wasn't in the spot he was in with the variance or maybe playing wilder or whatever it was, I just have a feeling it wouldn't have gone there. Like I told you a little while ago, like it a lot of times it really has to do, like, and many people have told me this, when you're winning, you're going to catch a lot of shit from players, and when you're losing, you're not. That's just the way it is. I mean, you'll catch shit, but it's more trolling. It's not like someone trying to like ice you out or, you know, make a complaint. Right?
Yeah. Well, you know, you could argue all day about like whether there's merit to that, because we're playing for a lot of money, you know, especially Andy. He sits deep with a lot of money. And if he doesn't want to sit with players who are like so-called calculated or sniping or not giving action, like, you could argue he's well within his rights to voice that concern and say, like, I'm not willing to play if certain players are playing.
Is that you? Is that what you're referencing? That he
I don't know
you're
exactly.
the calculated player? Or
Yeah, maybe. You know, I'm not sure. Like, we never got in depth about it, but even if that was the case and he was like, you know, I'm not playing with this guy, and that guy, like, you can totally argue that that's fine. You know, there's probably two schools of thought, and I don't think there's like a right and wrong answer.
Yeah, you can make a case either way is what you're saying.
Yeah, you can make a case either way. Like, we're playing a lot of money. He's giving a lot of action, obviously. You see the way he plays a lot of hands. And if he wants to play with certain players and not with others, then what's wrong with that, you know? But you could also make the case, like, just if you're so good, like you think you are, then just be quiet and let's play. So I think
either way.
It could go either way. And so I see his side of things, and I see the other side, and at the end of the day, I don't think it's a huge deal. We're just two grown men playing a card game.
Yeah.
You know, like,
no, that's
more important
paced,
things going on than that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm curious about your loyalty to Hustler. Like, do you feel like that's a part of your brand now? And why I ask that is because, you know, Bally's now is at Commerce.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, I've seen some of the players play there already. Would you go over there and play? Like, how do you feel about Hustler being a part of you as a poker player?
Well, I love playing at Hustler, obviously. It's really close to my house, and it's thanks to you guys that I even, like, came up in the stream world. I remember when I was, like, playing small back in the day, I used to watch the streams. I used to watch the bike and be like, oh, man, I just want to grow up and be able to play on, like, a camera game, you know? Yeah. And now, like, that dream kind of came true. Right. So I'll always have, like, that in my heart for Hustler. I remember the day that Ryan actually, he and I were texting, and I was asking him, like, can I become, like, a character in the show, you know? And he was like, you know what, like, we'll give you a shot. And then everything happened after that. So, you know, I love them. That said, and no offense, Nick, but I hate how much, like, political disputes there are and loyalties and lines in the sand about, like, who can play where and stuff like that. I wish it was more like, what's that saying, a rising tide raises all ships type of thing, even though I don't know if it really applies in this case, you know, because business is business. But I wish there was more freedom amongst the players to kind of go play wherever you want, because I do like playing other places. I like playing at the lodge. I would play at the bike if it was cool. I would play in Europe. I would play wherever. Like, I just want to play. I'm speaking from just a player's perspective. We just want to play cards. Yeah. You know, and if the game is good and it's fun, that's all I care about. So it does kind of suck, but I do understand, like, the nature of the business of, if someone is doing something for you, you have to reciprocate that. And Hustler has given me all this opportunity and stuff, and they've made me way more popular. Yeah. So in turn, like, it's not really ethical for me to then take that popularity and channel it into a different business, a competing business. Although that's not intentionally what I'm trying to do, that's what's going to happen.
Do you think there's enough room in LA for 2 live streams?
Hell no, I don't. Honestly.
Really?
No, I don't. I think there's going to be, like, a king in the jungle. I don't even know if there's room for 2 streams in the United States. Like, already the Lodge and Hustler are kind of like, You know, they're growing. You guys are growing, and it's starting to get like, oh, Hustler versus Lodge, and people can only watch one unless the stream schedules are alternate or whatever. But there's only so much player pool, right?
Yeah.
For high stakes, especially for action players.
Right.
There's only so many nights of the week, and it's already like it's either Hustler or Lodge at this point, I would say, because I think Lodge streams on the weekends now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so
okay,
does Bally's.
that's fine. But now Bally's is like, where do they fit in?
Right.
The players are taken up already. The schedule is taken up already.
Yeah.
Like, what do you bring to the table that Hustler and Lodge aren't already bringing?
I'm curious why they did it, to be honest with you. I can't imagine they're making much money off of it. But
Well, the reason that they did it is because it's owned by Bally. Bally, I think they got rid of the S. It's
Did
Bally
they?
now. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
really?
weird. I can't get behind it.
That's
Yeah.
not going to work with me.
It's
I'm
not gonna
so
work
used to
with me.
Bally's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Me too.
let's just go with Bally's. I wonder why they did that. Maybe there's just one person there now, and there's not more. You know, the reason that they did it, from what I know, is their model is different than, let's say, you know, Doug Polk is doing it because, you know, he wants to monetize it. Plus, it's good for his card room,
Sure.
which he's monetizing, right? And what they want to do, though, is they just want content, and they want content that they can put on the Bally's app and cut up or drive everything there. And I could be wrong, but I think the last hour you have to watch on the app.
Oh, okay.
I think I could be wrong. That's what I heard. I don't know
Yeah.
if they've done that yet because I didn't watch the whole thing, because they want content there. But the part that I don't understand is because I'm in this business and I know how much payroll is for if you play 3 days, if you run 3 days a week or 5. I could tell you almost to the penny if you do it right. Maybe theirs is less. But with that said, and then all the other expenses, like there's not, you really have to you have to do what we're doing with the views to monetize it, because with our views versus like with the bikes views or what they were, like you can't get a sponsor to get behind it with those views, right? And you can't get money from them. You can't, you know, there's like three other ways to get money when you run a stream. I'm not going to go into them, but with when viewership's not there, you can't. It doesn't monetize. So I know from conversations I've had, because I don't know if you know it, but you know, we had some quick discussions about maybe us taking over the stream in Vegas. It was just it didn't the discussions didn't last long.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, which I'm glad it didn't, because one of the stipulations for us was we have to have complete creative control. I'm not going to go put our name on something that isn't going to succeed, or
Right.
We have control.
Or be
of,
micromanaged.
Yeah, I just there's just things you need and have to do, and you can't be in gridlock with corporate. You can't have people that have another vision or don't know enough about poker or whatever it is. So it didn't work out, which is fine. It's for the best. Some other things will be happening, but they're doing it just to run content. And I know for a fact that they're not making money when they go around opening up over there and over here, and they want to go into Chicago, maybe Rhode Island. If it's feeding something that's making money, then it's just a different business model, and God bless them.
Yeah, that makes sense. But in terms of the audience on the internet, we don't care whether the stream is coming from LA or New Hampshire or wherever.
No.
Because when you're on the internet, it doesn't matter. So if you
Correct.
want to watch high stakes poker at night,
I just think LA has a different vibe. Like for me,
it's a
when I
jungle.
when I just look at the intro that Hustler has, look at the color of the book. It's just there is just a different vibe here,
Yeah.
and the characters are different. People in LA just act different.
I know.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's in Connecticut. Even if the players are crazy, it's just not going to be the same vibe.
You're right. It's not. It's funny you say that, because you even feel that when you play in the game. Like when you go to the lodge, there's this vibe that everyone's like trying.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like some people want to watch poker
It's
players
more-
try hard.
It's more poker game.
yeah, it's
Just
more like-
just
Yeah.
the energy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
different. It's like who plays better. That's what counts here. And that's cool. Like personally as a fan, I like to watch that more than like
Sure.
8 dudes lighting their stacks on fire.
Sure.
That's just me. But other people want to see a ton of action, and people lose their minds on a regular basis, just like me last night. And that's only at Hustler. I've only ever seen streams like that at Hustler.
Yeah.
It's just insanity.
I can tell you
on the regular.
Yeah, like hosting the $1 Million Cash Game, even like when I did Poker After Dark, they were feeding me my lines through my ear, and everything needed to be pristine and like buttoned up. Whereas Hustler's like, all right, get out there, talk about the players, and there's no script.
Is there anything off limits? No, get the fuck out there. You know?
Yeah.
because
very raw.
organic personalities sell.
Yeah.
Everybody expects proper. Everybody expects, and I'll be honest with
And
you,
we're
like
tired of it. To
yeah,
be honest.
but I get your point. Like, there's some people that love poker and love the strategy of poker, and would want to watch this stream here that has that. But the majority of the people, how about this? When we first started, Ryan and I were like, we are building characters. They're going to be hated, loved, despised, and God knows what else. And that is how we're going to get all the views. And they're playing poker. Play, do whatever you want to do, but they're just crazy. And these players are not just doing it to keep a seat. They're doing it because they're fucking out of their minds, and they love to shove, right? And so we don't tell them to do that. No one tells them to do that.
No, I've never been told how to play.
No, not at all. I think it's unethical to tell a player you have to do this if you want a seat. Now, underlining, people kind of know how you get a seat, right? But I would never say that to someone with their money. I think it's unethical. But with that said, that was our goal, because I knew our goal wasn't just to get content to put on an app and Bally's. It was to monetize, and you have to get millions of views and eyes on your product. That's why we did it for free. And then all this monetization is happening. People would be actually shocked of how good we monetize the show in so many different ways. But the only reason we do that is because, just like Valerie said, we're sick of just some of this other stuff that is great. Like Poker Go, I will never say a negative word about them. Their owners, what's his nuts?
Maury.
He's a legend. He gave us high stakes poker back in the day. I wish I won the award this year, because I had so much to say about him that I wanted to say, because I think I really do. I think it gets overlooked. And they put on an amazing production, better than ours in some ways. And so kudos to them, because that's a different product, right? And some people love watching it. But I know if your goal is to have the #1 viewed show, that's not it. That's just not it.
Yeah, it makes sense. So to touch on why is Bally's doing that, I don't know why. I guess what you said makes sense. But just from a player perspective, I would play on a stream that has 0 viewers. I don't care.
Of course.
We just want to play.
Yeah, you're a poker player. You're
you're
not running the poker business.
I wish it wasn't a big deal for me to go play all over the place. And
you just went to the lodge. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, you guys have a little bit of a different relationship with the lodge.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal.
Did you catch any heat?
Not at all.
No.
Go to Bally's.
Make that clear.
Put on a Hustler Casino Live hoodie and see if they'll let you play.
You want to play Poker Night in America? Go.
Because Nik Airball goes
and
to the lodge.
you can go to Commerce. No one's going to tell you not to go.
Nik Airball wears Hustler Casino Live gear at the lodge.
Yeah. We only had, look, here's what it is, and I'll just say it. We don't have the stuff that's in the past with the bike people. Okay. That's pretty much to bed. But they are a local competitor. Yeah. They dip in. The lodge can't dip into our player base. We can send people there. They can go there. Cool. We had some guy, Tito was from there. He plays all the time. He came to play with us. He was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, did he fuck up that hand when he got felted last night? But
Tito.
I know. But whatever. Tito, I love you. Anyways, I played with him on Thursday in your game.
Super
he's
nice
a cool guy. I really liked him. But point is we're all good. It's just that we are running a business that is our local competition, and it is what it is. So I don't think you've ever, that my knowledge, been told you couldn't go to the lodge or Poker After Dark, or what's the other one that's in the house? What's it called? The house.
Oh, the house in Vegas?
Yeah. What's
Poker
that?
Night in America.
Poker Night America.
Oh, it's in a house, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got invited to that. I think I said no because it was in a house.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Out. It's a studio.
Well,
and
I've seen it since, but this was before they were putting anything out. I was like the first. I was like.
Yeah, and they're fine, because it's not just like a regular house game, but there is no regulation. Yeah. There is a little security, but it's not a casino, and your money does go to a guy in the back that has a box. Yeah. And then you get paid out.
I think, just to be fair, they're
it's fine.
They run a pretty 100% honest stream. I've never I've never heard anything.
Well,
They
you would
yeah.
never interpret what
But
I
it's-
just said
but
as
it's
not
weird.
honest, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
But
good.
it is in a house. Is what
That's
your
all.
point
Yeah,
is.
that's
It's
the
in a
only
house.
point. It's
We all, hey, it's in a
fuck.
house.
It's a fuck. It
There's
has
a guy
four
in the
walls.
back.
It
You
has
got your
roof.
money. It's got a roof.
Yeah.
Fuck. What the
Yeah,
fuck
that's
are we
all the whole
talking
point.
about?
Todd over there is great. He treated me great. And
Oh yeah, you lost there, didn't you?
22,000. Yeah,
That video goes
I
on
called
loop
off on
all
Galfon.
the time.
I know. Well, that's all they have. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I called off a straight against Galfon's nut flush, and I lost 22,000. Why would I even be in a hand with him?
I don't know.
Crazy, man.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. But, so anyway, Mariano.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no. This is
What's
fun.
your next thing?
I don't know. I don't know where we're at. Okay.
like we got
Explain.
off track.
Break down. We'll probably show it. We'll have the guys put it on there. But break down the king's hand the best that you can. What you were thinking. Obviously, there's a dynamic on the stream. What you thought. And don't just be politically correct because you were a little tilted by Nick.
You got called out.
What you
Yeah.
thought about his rant that continued to go on. Tell them out there the stuff they don't know and what you were thinking and how you felt.
Okay, so I guess I'll make an exception to my standard rule of never really going in depth with strategy because I feel
Yeah,
like
come on. This
it's
is
not
like
my
a
thing.
one-off or a little mini G-Man.
Yeah,
Come on.
whatever.
Yeah.
When in Rome, I guess.
Mini G man.
Yeah, let's go.
I just don't like it.
Yeah,
It's
just
like-
don't put out a poker training site, and you guys will still always, you two will always be good.
Okay, whatever.
right.
I don't even care. So, okay, so Nik Airball opens in this hand from early position. Okay,
Yeah,
and he's not really fucking around that much with like me and Henry left to act, and he's in early position. So okay, decent hand.
yeah,
Right. I am on the button, if I remember this correctly, and on the button you're supposed to call a lot versus someone who raises from early position.
yeah. It's a tight range. From early position.
Yeah, you should call a good amount. You should also re-raise sometimes. But I re-raise against Nick too, who I get wrecked by all the time.
Right.
So, okay, I have a pretty strong hand. It's obvious, right? Now Henry, he sees this. He sees Nick raise and me re-raise, right? In a position where Nick...
Before it got to you,
No, this
you
is
called
after.
and then he re-raised.
No. Nick opens and I raise on the button.
I see.
So
Raising the blinds.
Henry's in the blinds, and he sees that Nik Airball has opened from early, and that I have re-raised this raise on the button, and he raises.
It's shocking to me.
I'm like, okay, like he's got something really good.
Yeah.
Or he must. Maybe he's getting out of line sometimes. It's fine. It's Henry. We're on stream. All these are also variables, right? So, all right, Nick folds, gets back to me, and I have kings. I think I should call sometimes and raise a few times. That's pretty much the only options. I decide to raise, which is like the aggressive route. I know it seems insane because I have pocket kings, but given like all the explanation,
It's like a 5 bet at this point.
this would be
6.
3, 4. This would be a 5 bet.
Oh, is it 5? Okay.
So I 5 bet him in a spot where I should almost always call. I know it seems ridiculous, but I'm almost over repping my hand at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, but we're really deep and it's totally normal 5 bet, whatever. Now it gets back to Henry, and he should, in my opinion, call or fold all his hands. That's it. That's just my 2 cents. I could be wrong. Even with aces, he should call. More profitable than jamming. But Henry now jams all in. Like, so now this is a 6 bet. And not only that, but it's for 600 big blinds, I think it was. So it's a
Give
lot.
a dollar amount roughly to the fans.
I think it
the
was
viewers.
$60,000. We're
Okay.
playing 50-100. It was $60,000.
Right. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So you could take like the nerdy approach and talk about everything I just spoke about and be like, this is scary. You have kings. You have no removal to aces. I'd rather have ace king in this spot, which I mentioned to Henry later like an idiot. And he was like, what are you talking about? But
In the vein of talking about poker
Yeah.
strategy. Okay.
yeah,
got it.
I don't even know why I said
You're
that.
saying because you would fold ace king in that spot?
No, I would
we'd
rather have ace king. Like, it's less scary to have ace
Oh,
king.
okay.
So it's back on me now, and I have kings. The nerdy aspect of it is like, it's scary. It's 60,000, and he could very easily have aces. In a 2-5 game, this would be aces like 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But now you look at the other side of things, which is like, we're playing live, we're on stream, we fuck around all the time, people punt. And so like for a second, I just forgot all that secondary information, and I was just focusing on like the primary, like nerdy technical poker
Yeah,
aspect of it. And I was like, in that world, this is a tough spot. But in this other world, it's like, it's Henry. He's rich as hell. He gives action. Like, I have kings. There's no decision here. Just call right away.
Right.
And once more, I think it's a topic that you could see both sides and make a case for at least thinking about it for a little bit. I don't know how long I thought about it.
Yeah, so that was my next question.
Do we know
did you
how
even
long it was?
know how
No,
when you were in the moment you didn't realize you took as long as you did?
Even after you didn't go back and see how long it was?
I haven't gone back yet.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
I'll do it.
I'm sure you will. Yeah. I'm sure someone watching right now probably knows the exact amount of seconds or something.
Right.
I don't know how long it was. Probably too long, especially on a stream. Like, at the end of the day, if you get kings on a stream, like, and you think someone has aces, you just call.
Were you legitimately thinking of folding? Like, was that an option in your head?
Yes,
Yeah.
literally.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I was like, all right, like, this is going to be the stupidest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, you know, I came back to reality and I was like, what am I thinking about? And it was probably in part to, like, this big downswing I had.
Right.
I also, like, had to
Seeing
spend
monsters.
money on, like, some personal, like, family stuff recently. So, like, I was thinking of all that and I was like, you know, maybe I'm just running into it here. And so that's what happened. But then I called and I was wrong. He had ace queen.
If you would have
Off.
folded,
Off.
Nick Airball would have lobbied to get you off of Hustler forever.
Either way, you were dead.
I would have seen myself out at that point.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
who folds kings
So
in
it
a
was
cash game?
just
Yeah.
stupid.
How did you feel during that rant? Like, not now, seeing both sides and everything good, but right at the time, what emotions were you feeling when he went on the rant, when he wouldn't kind of stop for a little bit? And then you would bring it up, and then he would go back and
Yeah.
start ranting. What were you thinking?
I actually really like that Nick is, like, brutally honest on stream at all times.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that it was, like, a necessary evil, if you will. But it just hit me kind of like off guard, because in my experience with Airball, he's always been that way to, like, more so outsiders than, like, his personal friends on the stream.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And he and I have always been cool up to that point. So it kind of caught me off guard. Like, I thought for sure if he had an issue with it, he would just tell me, like, after the game or something.
Right.
So it was weird that, like, he...
Were you pissed at the time?
I wasn't, like, pissed. I was just, like I said, a little off guard. And you know, he said that I was overly sensitive, and I could see that. You know, we're playing poker. He's just telling me to hurry up. Like, how butthurt can I really be?
Yeah.
But yeah, in the moment, like, I'm not gonna lie,
He kind of didn't just tell you to hurry up. He kind of berated you.
I don't ever, like, put too much in store with that stuff, because I know as well as anyone, like, when things get a little heated at the poker table, half the time it has nothing to do with the person, but just,
That's
like,
for sure.
Yeah, just last night, I lost a big pot. Can't even remember which one. But Lauren counted my chips in, like, a really weird way. Or I'm sorry, counted someone else's chips that I was supposed to pay. She counted, like, you know how you count in stacks of 5 chips?
Yeah.
You know? She counted these thousands in stacks of 6. And I was just like, what are you doing? So she counted, like, 6, 6, 6, put 2 on top. This was green chips. And she was like, 20,000. And I was like, that looks like 17,000, right? Because I was thinking 5, 10, 15.
Yeah, 6, 12, 18 plus 2.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, no, these are 6. And I did 2 on top. And I was like, that's an odd way to count chips, Lauren. You know, I just said that. And, like, I watched it later, and I was like, me and Lauren have always gotten along.
So you were a little prickly because
Yeah, I was prickly. I was just, like, being a little bitch about it. Like, just shut up and pay the chips. Like, why are you complaining? You know, I watched it later, and I was like, so I know how it is to just say shit and act a way that
Did you tell her sorry?
I think she, like, apologized after. She's like, I'm sorry I counted the chips.
No, that she always does that.
I was
even
like,
if she's
Lauren,
not wrong.
it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. I was just being a baby, you know?
Yeah.
And so when Nick, like, kind of went off on me, I didn't even take it that much to heart.
That's good.
It was whatever. Like, I know how it is at the table, you know?
Yeah.
I know how it is. People have said shit to me and apologized after. I've said things and apologized. Like, it's just the heat of the moment. So even though he did have a point, like, how harsh he came at me and how much we got into it, like, half of it was just poker, anger, and nothing too serious, I think.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Cool. Veronique?
Yeah, so we have our meetup game tomorrow. The Hustler Casino Live meetup game.
You get to play a little $1, $3, try to get it all back.
That's my question. So you said that you would plan a live stream with 0 views. So do you love poker enough to play, 1, 2, 2, 5 with the normies?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think it would just be just the total wrong perspective to, like, bitch about it. Even though it is funny to bitch about it, like, it's pretty sweet. Like, you guys created a product that has a worldwide fan base, and people show up to like play cards with us.
I just want to say you were hilarious last year.
I had a good
you
time,
were at
yeah.
my table for
Were
a
you
little
hammered,
bit.
though, I
You
think?
were hammered.
I was, yeah.
You were a little drunk. You were giving so much action at 2-5.
I know. I was winning by accident too. It was the worst.
Yeah.
I won last year, so we got to
You
fix
should
that.
just keep that up. just
Dude,
not think.
I was just.
Just don't.
I
think.
was trying to give the chips away, and they just kept coming back with new friends. It's crazy.
Dude, last night, he says it wasn't about the button. That's cool. I didn't know that, but they're playing a button game, and he put in 25,000 without looking at his cards, and he ran it. Would you run into like aces?
Ace, queen, of
Ace,
spades.
queen of spades, yeah. And then another time he had 8-6 off. And he fucking had flop came ace jack 6, and he leads into 2 people with pre-flop action. That was, and I'm just like, oh my god, just from the hands I saw, I'm like, what is he doing?
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
The no looking is awful. 8-6 is fine. Probably.
Okay, you think?
Well, yeah.
All right, were you just repping the board, huh?
Well, yeah, because
You're
I
betting
raised
your range?
before the flop.
Yeah.
And it came ace jack 6. I raised before the flop. Sean called. Someone else called. So they can't have aces. They can't have jacks.
They can't have an ace.
They can't have an ace. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was ace jack 6. I
Yeah.
have a 6. So the only hand I'm worried about is pocket 6s, but I have a 6. So there's only one combo of 6s. They can't have pocket aces. They can't have pocket jacks.
Why do they need pocket aces to beat your 6 if they had an ace? You would still have 6s. They would have aces.
I'm just never going to lose. It's ace jack 6, and they can't have a set. And we're so deep, you can't call down with top pair.
Okay.
The hand is
Oh,
not
I
that,
see. What your plan was for the hand?
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
just thinking like, oh,
No,
ace
I
jack
understand
6,
that.
I'm
I
gonna bet,
understand.
like,
No,
it's
I
like-
understand that.
I'm just thinking like 3 streets ahead, and I have bottom pair. Like that's a good hand to bluff with.
Right. Then
Sometimes.
Brown Baller had ace jack.
Well, he had ace jack, so it was ace jack 6. I bet, which is really strong already. I'm not
Yeah.
saying this is good. This is my.
I'm
thought
not even
process.
arguing with it. I'm just kind of talking about
Brown
it.
Baller calls. He's
Yeah.
first to act. This is a little scarier than if the other guy called, because Brown Ball is calling with someone left to act.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then this guy calls too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is very sketchy.
Yeah.
Turn is an ace. Now I'm like, I should just give up.
Yeah.
So he checks, I check, and now Brown Baller bets,
3,000, I think, small into 12.
which I think personally is a mistake. It shows how little I know, because he won a ton of money and I lost a ton in the hand. So he bets. This guy folds. Now it's on me. If I had pocket 6s, I would play the hand this way. And I can't just play pocket 6s this way and not have some bullshit too to like even that out. So you have to have bluffs. What bluffs are you going to have on ace jack 6 ace? Like think of one. You can't. You have to have a 6. It has or jack 6 suited. Like you got to invent weird bluffs sometimes if you want to play properly. You just have to.
Of course, that's true. Yeah.
I'm not saying 8-6 off is a good candidate. It's probably not. Better to have like a flopped bottom pair with backdoor flush draw. Like 8-6 of diamonds, 8-6 of clubs. I had 8-6 off. Pre-flop just butchered.
Yeah.
But you have to like if you're gonna play pocket 6s this way, right? Or ace 6, let's say. Mm-hmm. You gotta come up with something to like even that out. Or do you want to be the type of guy who's playing boards every single time you play a certain board a certain way? You have a valid.
Don't you think
hand.
it's a little different though if you're heads up versus having to go through 2?
Yeah, for sure. But the thing is, it did become heads up. So I checked. He bet. The other guy folds. Now I'm heads up with Balla, who I think is betting an ace. He's got trip aces.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Right.
So could probably get him to fold like half of his trip aces. So check raise now and then jam the river for like pot and a half. He's going to have to fold an ace here and there. That's what I was thinking. He has like ace 4 suited. He has ace 10. Might even have ace queen. Like he might fold those hands sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe never. Maybe he's watching right now just cracking up. He thinks I'd fold an ace.
Yeah.
He laughs.
With the laugh. Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I was thinking. If I had 6s, if I had ace 6, I would play this way, and I got to come up with a bluff. Having a 6 seems like a good card. And that's the funeral story of my hand and my chips. That's how it happened,
Sure.
I mean, he had ace jack, which is the nuts.
Yeah,
But I am curious what would have happened if he had ace 10. Is he really calling 50K into a 30K pot when I'm obviously repping a boat?
Sure.
And he's going to think to himself, what bluffs do you have? And I have like hardly any.
Well, Brown Ball is good enough to fold too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this
No,
against
I understand.
like
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
Will or something, you know, who's like not gonna fold. Like Will's not gonna fold. You know, he's gonna complain for 5 minutes and he's gonna call. But Ball is a good player.
Yeah,
and he's gonna understand.
It's easier to do that.
Yeah, he's gonna understand that like he has to fold some hands, and Ace 10 might be like the worst hand he would have on the river. So,
well, yeah, we can leave it at that. No, I'm serious. I mean,
it's absurd.
People do this. Well, how about, I'm not going to do that. I have a different way of looking at it, and it's not nitty. It's just a different way that like I'm learning things.
It's the practical way.
It's not even, well.
Because what I'm saying is stupid. It doesn't even
I'm not
work.
saying you're stupid.
It is stupid what I'm saying. Because even if it's technically correct, it doesn't work. Like, at the end of the day, let's be real. Brown Ball is not folding trip aces.
That's what I wanted to say, right?
You know,
like,
he's not. Like, we're all thinking it.
Yeah.
Like, Mariano, shut up. He's not folding trips.
Yeah.
And here I am trying to make the guy fold trips. It's like we were talking about
it's
why.
It's just tough, It's tough. Like I said, I know that you're a pre-flop raiser, right? You're right. And so I get it. I do think against one player, you got to bet your range. Against two, I think you give up. It's just my opinion.
No, you're right.
If you're in position, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But again, this isn't me. Like, I don't want to talk strat and just do that or whatever because it just doesn't even matter. No one respects what I think, anyways. But truthfully, and so whatever. But
you and Phil Hellmuth.
Yep, no one respects it. So, but whatever. It doesn't matter. It's interesting. Like this conversation to me is interesting.
Okay.
I like hearing what you have to think of that.
I mean, I play with him a lot.
Yeah,
with
that's
Brown
another
Ball.
factor,
So,
right?
With players who are good that I play with often.
Yep.
I try to like be as unpredictable as possible, especially with my hands all being on YouTube, where any of these guys can watch.
I totally understand that.
So
yeah.
So I try to make it so when I go all in, like they're not sure if I have something good or
it's
something
future
bad.
EV.
Yeah, in a sense.
Yeah,
Like,
right? No, it can be.
In a sense, it is.
It can
because
be.
I'm sure you know, Nick, how it is to play against a guy who, whenever he goes all in on the river, it's so easy to know what he
right,
has.
face up. Yeah, I won't say who, but there's a few.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to lose
100%.
huge pots
Yes.
to become unpredictable. So
I think it's an interesting conversation.
And your YouTube channel in the past year, how many followers have you gained?
That's a good question. I don't know. I want to say maybe 30,000 or something, 40. Nothing like these people.
These guys.
40,000 is a lot. That's good.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Do your views reflect your followers?
Yeah.
Because I notice there's not a strong correlation to our views and our followers.
Interesting. No, mine are always like pretty close to the amount of subscribers I have.
So what she's saying is really weird. Like, is we have 20,000, roughly 20,000 subscriptions, and
sometimes we'll get 80,000
and we'll
views.
get like 70, 80,000 views.
I think a lot of it probably depends on the guest you have on. Because
for sure.
No, it does.
Yeah.
But wouldn't those people still that watch they just don't sub, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when people watch my videos, I'm always like the main character. I'm the guest in the video.
So they're definitely more interested than everyone versus cherry picking.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, when people,
it's true. I mean, I get 70,000 views and I might get 5 on another one or 3. It's true.
Yeah. So it just depends who you have. Like, obviously, if you had Kevin Hart on here or something, you'd probably get like 1 million views.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Yeah. Good point.
And like 1 extra subscriber.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually referring to the Hustler Casino Live subs.
I know you were.
No, we know.
No, we were. We just she went back there and then I backed it up. No,
Yeah.
we know, not me.
What's HCL at now? Like 300?
330 or 40.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm honestly surprised it's not like closer to 1 million.
It's a niche industry. It's really hard. It's not like a Mr. Beast or I don't know, because like that Wolfgang guy has a million.
I think he's got like 1.2 million now last I checked.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. I don't know the secret sauce on subs. I really don't.
Well,
maybe I should call
apparently
Wolfgang.
it's the shorts. That's what he did. The YouTube shorts.
Yeah, it's funny too, because here's the deal. I specifically hired a guy named Brian who's just been a chat pro. He let me talk about him. He deserves it. His name's Brian. He's been on my jock for the past year in my DMs.
Mine too.
And hers.
And I finally got Nick to talk to him and give him a shot.
So he was wanting to get on the hustler thing, hustler. And, I keep saying, dude, I don't know if we have anything yet. Because I meant it. Like, we really didn't. Yeah. Then he started DMing her, just relentless, but in a very...
For a year.
Not annoying way. Yeah. I never was annoyed once.
Just persistence.
Yes.
He was persistent, but very professional, never annoying.
Yeah.
Then finally, I started using him a little bit for here because Vincent is busy. He's a big timer now, and so it's hard to get him to do a lot of edits to his. But that's good for him because he's busy and he's doing a lot of good shit. This is not a drag, and so he's been helping. And I did also, I've been doing a lot more. We've been doing a lot more shorts, and so I specifically hired him to do shorts because that's where I think the subs are coming from. Now, because we're so busy, he's been rerouted into a million things, but I'm going to get him back on point, and that's going to be our focus because I think that is where it's at.
That's cool. Yeah. Shorts seem to be the key to a bunch of subs. Now even Rampage is doing them. We're just starting to.
So we'll see what happens.
Good luck to you guys.
Yeah. Are you going to make any adjustments? Are there going to be any new adjustments now that we've sun run, we've had variance, we've donked, we've chased, we've played great, we've experienced everything.
I've done it all.
You've touched every base.
I have.
Who's Mariano going to be going forward? Do you even know?
I don't know, man. I think probably my dream is to just. I really enjoy poker when I get to play well. Honestly, I know that's the boring answer, but a lot of people they like the gamble, and I'm kind of like you, Nick, where
I'm that way.
There's not a lot of thrill in it for me personally.
I know.
I just do it because I want to give action and stuff, but
I'm so lucky to have the show.
Yeah.
Because I would never get a seat. But here's the thing. I'm like you.
Yeah.
When I play the button game, it's not it's not because I don't want to play.
You're referring to the stand-up
variance.
Game.
The stand-up game. I always call it the button game, the stupid game.
But just so the audience knows.
Yeah, the stupid game, the stand-up game.
Yeah.
It's because of just what you said. The game, it's not even that the game, we played on Thursday, the game was big, wasn't it? Kind of, not for you, but on the Fridays, but it played bigger. There was 200 straddle, 400, there was 800s on. I mean, it was a lot bigger than normal. And I don't care about that. I don't even mind that if we're just playing. But when the stand-up game comes on, it's a shove fest. Yeah. And it's not really poker. Now, it could be exciting if you love just to gamble, like you're saying. Yeah. But where I get the most fulfillment, and it's not about me, it is about the fans and it is about the show, but where I get the most fulfillment is like you. I want to play poker. Yeah. I want to think about what I'm doing and do it. And if I'm right, I feel good. If I'm wrong, I hate myself. I like that. I just don't want to go, well, shit, we're probably 55, 45 here. Fucking take all of it. I just don't like it.
I'm the same way. Yeah. I got into it to begin with, not for money or popularity or anything. Just to play. I like the strategy game. I've always been a nerd with puzzles, and I really like chess, and I really like strategy games. And so poker, that's what was attractive to me, and it still is. But I'm just in a spot now where if I'm focused 100% on that, doesn't really work for my situation. So
no, it's tough. It's tough for you.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
So
would you think anyone else at the table would have folded those tens Thursday? Do you remember the button game when Tito had the aces? You don't even.
Did you
remember.
fold tens?
Oh, you? I didn't say. Oh, I didn't say what I had.
Did you fold face down?
Yeah, but I think I said I had it.
I didn't see the hand, but I think I know where. You said something like anyone else would call.
Yeah. All you guys would have called here, but anyways, and this is not a drag. Mm-hmm. This is a serious question. Is your goal still to be Mini Garrett? I'm not trolling.
Was it ever?
Yeah, last time you were here, bro, you said that's my idol. I want to be. Yeah. Is that still? You want to be in poker? He's a great poker player. I'm not trying to bait you into a negative. You could say
I don't
all
care.
positives.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I stand by Garrett.
I know you do.
I think a lot of the decisions he's made are questionable. With the way he handled the whole Jack 4 thing. Yeah, and I think he knows that.
I don't think he does.
Regardless, they're all the things that I looked up to him for, are
they still stand in place.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from him. I've had a personal relationship with him, and despite him not being perfect, I think there's a lot to be learned. And for the most part, he was a great addition to the poker world. He's done a lot for.
He's
for
a killer
poker.
too. He's a great player,
and he's a great player.
Yeah,
tons to learn from. No matter how hard he tries not to teach anyone, there's a lot to be learned.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I'm trying to be Mini Garrett. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think I just want to do my own
Mariano.
thing. Yeah, just want to do my own thing. We used to play somewhat similarly, I guess. He just did everything I was trying to do much better. But since then, I've kind of developed a different style than him. Mm-hmm. I've gone back and watched some of the hands that I thought were amazing at a certain point in time, and now I'm like, I don't know if I dig that so much.
Mm-hmm.
So
you evolve.
Yeah, and I think that he's still 100 times better than me. But just different styles now. So probably just want to do my own thing. But
Yeah.
he's probably always still going to be my favorite player to watch. He still is, So
Yeah, totally.
not a Garrett hater.
No. You have to understand something. I wasn't trying to make. I know how you feel. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
I gave you the opportunity to say that. Like, it's,
Yeah,
it's
man,
not about.
I've told you that plenty of
You're
times.
Yeah.
welcome, Mariano.
Yeah.
You got that opportunity.
No, what I'm saying is, if I wanted you to say something negative or not hear something positive, I wouldn't have asked you because I know how you feel. We talked about it a million times.
I
know you're not
care
going to say
if
anything
everyone
negative.
around me hates him.
Well, you know
or
what's good
doesn't,
about that?
whatever,
You know what's
like-
good about that? Let me tell you what's good about that. I'm not even joking.
Uh-huh.
You're reacting on your experience and how your friendship is and how he is to you and what you know. And I think that's classy. Because there are a lot of people that jump on wagons that don't do that, or they don't support people once they become unpopular because they don't want to be unpopular. I respect that somebody will stick and not leave their wingman. You know?
Man.
Yeah.
I form my opinions based on my experiences with people.
That's how you should.
And not to like kiss ass or anything, but you get a lot of shit. A lot of people don't like you on the internet.
Yeah.
And, I've had calls with you on the phone before where like I've told you I feel like you're almost like a poker fatherly figure to me, and I feel like I could hit you up anytime.
Yeah.
And you would help me out if I needed it.
And I recognize that, and I appreciate that. They're the people that have stuck by me and just know me for who I am. I know, I remember it, and I appreciate that. But I'm the same way too. There's just a lot of people that want me to jump on a certain wagon because they don't like. I won't do it. I won't drag them if I like someone.
I feel the same
I'll
way.
give you an example. So I went into business with this guy's name's Matt, and he had a little bit of a rough time on the internet because of just maybe some of his communication style or some things. And
Is that a nice way of putting it? A really nice
that's
way?
the way I'm putting it. Yeah. Yeah. But because that's the way I see it, not because I'm trying to just be nice. He, whatever. But I saw through those things because I know him. And I know, like you're saying, we have personal conversations. So I know better than to just see what's on the outside, that I could understand why someone feels that way. And I just refuse. People were like on Twitter, and they're doing the same thing I did to you. They ask me a question, they want to know this, and I won't do it. I won't drag them. I won't go against him until I have a different experience with him. I don't necessarily care about a different style of person communication. I've had talks saying, "Hey, dude, like in this environment, like we have to be this way, or you're gonna get chewed up." And some people just are based in how they were raised and who they are and what they were used to acting like their whole. It doesn't. So I guess what I'm saying is I respect that. Yeah. And to say all that fucking bullshit is to say I respect that. I'm glad you're like that.
Thanks,
and
man.
that's even the case with me. I'm glad you feel that way because you know me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It makes me a bit sad how things ended up with the whole Garrett fiasco. But,
it sucks.
And I was kind of looking forward to trying to compete with him because I was starting to play with him before all that shit happened. And we were going head to head, so that was fun. But that probably won't happen.
Life, huh? Crazy.
What, did
Big
you watch
deal.
his return on Bally's?
On Bally's?
Yeah.
No,
That happened, or no?
Garrett?
You
didn't watch his return?
that's not on Bally. Oh, it's
That was Bally's at Tropicana, wasn't it?
No. Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not,
I'm
what
thinking-
am I like? Am
I'm
I
thinking. Well, he's thinking
am
like
I on
me.
Mars or something?
No, we're both thinking WPT.
Yeah,
That's
we
why.
are.
Oh,
I
no,
didn't.
no.
I actually didn't watch that because I don't know, like something about that stream.
It's
like,
still so dark.
I don't know.
I don't know
something
what they're
about
doing
it.
with
I think
it,
it's like
like-
the graphics. I'm not a huge something about it. I don't like watching it, but I really like the way the WPT stream
That
looks.
looked great.
Oh yeah,
So
WPT's
it
So
looks
watch that
so
one.
nice. Like
Yeah.
their cameras,
They do a great job.
It has to be like a $250,000 setup
Yeah.
or something. The cameras they're using are insane. They have like actual movie cameras. Their setup is sick. So I watched that one. He played 2 days on there. Is that right? Or no, just once.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But
I think it was 1-1, but I
Maybe,
could
yeah.
be wrong.
Okay, you're right. It was 1-1.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
was.
so I watched the WPT one, and he was also like sun running, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. He was.
But I like watching those WPT streams. I also watched Ethan on that same stream, Rampage. He won like some big tournament on there about a year ago, and I watched that too. It's just
How are you guys
easy to
doing? Are
watch.
you guys
Good?
still
Oh, yeah.
tight?
Oh yeah, we're boys. We just we went out last night after the game.
Oh,
Got some
cool.
food. He came over to my house a couple of weeks ago I had a band rehearsal performance thing because I'm
I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you. about
Okay,
that.
yeah. So he came over with his girl and watched us play music all night. It was like a party thing.
Do
We're both
people
cool.
recognize you guys when you're out in LA?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, him more than me.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Him definitely more, which is fine by me. Like sometimes people come up to him and they ask me to like take a photo, and I'm like, no problem. Yeah, like,
Hey man, what's your name? Can you take a photo of me
I'm
and
like,
Rampage?
I'm more than okay with it because I don't really like the whole attention thing, and he's great at it.
So this band, what's this band?
Oh yeah, so probably part of the reason I suck at poker now is I'm just like super focused on music production, which is what I went to school for.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to school for music production, and there's just like hardly any money in it unless you're at the top like 0.01%. Just like a lot of industries, you know, like acting or whatever. And so that's why I switched to poker, because the gap between like being good at something and making money from it is almost non-existent in poker. You know, I mean, you need some bankroll, and you need to have a place to play. But if you could figure that out, like there's nothing stopping you from going to the casino and just winning, right? But with music, you could be like the best, and there's like 100 different hoops you have to jump through before anything good happens. So that's why I got away from it. But now, since I got a little more money, which is essentially just freedom to do whatever the hell you want, which is why the only reason I really like money is it's just a tool to like be able to do things.
To get what's most valuable is your time.
Yeah,
to do
exactly.
what you want,
Like
yeah.
I'm not someone who wants like super expensive cars or houses or watches or whatever. Like this thing's like $200, you know?
Yeah. Well, you better stick with that the way you've been playing.
No choice. Yeah.
No choice.
I've seen your car. It's not bad, I have to say.
I do love my car.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been using a lot of that time to do music stuff, and I also built like a music studio in my house. It's kind of like how this is your passion project, right?
Yeah.
You know, I got mine at home.
What do you play?
I play
you
the
just
drums.
say? The drums, okay.
Play the drums, but my real love and passion is I like to like produce and engineer the music. So
What kind of music?
it's pop rock.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. Blink 182, I guess, is like the most popular band that's a similar style, stuff like that. So we're trying to produce music and release stuff by the end of this year, and then we're gonna try to play. Like,
Who's we?
Just me and some buddies. I've known them since like middle school. So
Maybe you guys could supply the music for the Hustler Casino Live
I've thought
documentary.
Of it. It's just not really the style. Like it doesn't. I'd be happy to, but so we're trying to play shows at the end of the year, and I was hoping to invite like friends and family, and I want like Hustler people to come. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, like who doesn't like live music? You know, no one's gonna lose money. It's gonna be great.
What's the band's name that you're producing right now?
I can't say.
Wow.
Oh, he's big time.
Yeah.
I know I sound like a douche, but we just picked up an attorney.
Just a little.
We just picked up an attorney, and they're working on trademarking our name. So
That's cool.
yeah, so until
Oh,
I don't
so
know
you're
when
really
this is
serious about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
good.
until this, I don't know when this will release this video. Probably not for like 2 weeks or something.
Oh,
so
nice.
it'll probably be taken care of. But just to be safe, like I'll tell you guys right after.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
I would hate for someone to take it while we're in the works.
Butthole
of, like,
Surfers has already been taken though, so I don't know if you're. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was my old band.
Oh.
You could go
It's
with
a legit
bleached
band.
butthole surfers.
Bleach Butthole.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, that's not taken.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been spending a lot of time doing is the music stuff.
Yeah.
So fulfilling.
Did you get speaking of bleached buttholes, did you ever get any money back from Dustin, the closer?
Oh, yes, I did.
No shit.
I did.
Good for you. How much?
Also can't say
Oh, are you under a NDA?
something like that.
Oh, so I'll pay you.
Bleach
Shut the
buttholes
fuck
don't
up.
talk.
Yeah. Wow, you can't even talk about his butthole, or is just the money?
I'll tell you all about his butthole, Nick. I know you're dying to know.
I am.
but,
Is it
yeah.
bleached? Like his teeth?
You should find out on your own. Like his teeth.
Send pics.
Jesus.
Send pics.
What are we talking about?
I do want to say this about music, though. You know why poker is so lame, really? It's just like a sum zero thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are we really doing?
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, firefighters and teachers and professors or
Oh,
whatever.
it's taken so serious, right?
Yeah.
Beefs and arguments. And
But at least, like, those professions help people or the community. Like, what the hell are we doing?
yeah.
You could donate part of your money and
You
help.
could. I mean, part of the reason the YouTube channel makes me feel better is because I'm bringing people entertainment or
Yeah,
edutainment or
yeah.
whatever you want to call it. Same for this podcast or
Or the
Hustler
show,
Casino
yeah.
Live. Like, obviously, it's a business, but you're also bringing people joy.
Yeah, I like
entertainment.
that. It makes me happy.
It's
to,
cool.
To
It's
compete
cool
and
to
show it.
give poker some sort of value to the community, you know, and that's what these medias allow us to do. But with music, it's like that too. Like we're actually creating a product, right? We're going to create music that people can listen to and enjoy, and it doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And I think that that's cool.
You're right. It is kind of sad. How
It's depressing, right?
Depressing. How it could be really depressing. You know, like I said, like you just said, like the reason I do this and the reason that I started Hustler wasn't for the monetary reasons. You know, it's a capped business.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's capped. Is just because, like you, I love poker, and I got to tell you, and I think one of the biggest plus EV things for me isn't how we monetize it. It isn't for like, oh my gosh, you have the #1 show. It's literally when I wake up on a day that I'm playing, I'm fucking excited.
Yeah.
Like my day's better when I know that I could go work most of the day and then I'm heading over there to start at 4 because like you, I just love to compete and like want to be better at something. That's why I get a little cranky with all of the like button stuff, which is good for my show and it's good for fans. And like, so it really is a contradictory, but it's just because I'm like you are. I just want to like play. You know? I just love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And you can't go get it anywhere. Like I'm barred from the commerce, but even if I wasn't, there's no game. Not a good game.
Yeah.
Like you got to go play 5-10
smaller games
somewhere.
with like significantly tougher players.
Yeah, nobody's talking. Like I enjoy all the bullshit that goes on.
Makes
during
me
the game.
sad that you don't get the pork chop and mashed
I'm
potatoes
sick
from
about
Commerce.
it. I'm sick about it.
Yeah.
I might have to send you in to get it to go.
I've been sure. You know what? I will.
Will you get it to go?
I'll
Is that
go
good?
tonight.
It's good over
No,
there?
I don't know. They kicked me out
you
before
know
I could order it.
Oh.
You know, I troll them constantly, right?
No.
I constantly I tag them in our videos when we
Oh,
talk about them.
I didn't even know that.
Oh,
no
yeah.
wonder. I'll never get back in.
I chronically troll them on Instagram
Nice.
and Twitter
Nice.
because I just want you to get back in there.
Oh, that's how I'm going to get back in trolling them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
plan.
Say all positive
So
things.
far hasn't worked, but
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
One
Do
day.
me a favor. Just
Leave
you
it
handle
alone.
your own business.
It's funny because I feel like barring you actually hurts their business more than it helps it.
I do too.
Yeah, like if someone goes into the commerce and they see me or you,
Yeah.
or like just poker people, it's good for them.
It's
you know?
great for
Yeah,
them.
it's like, oh, hey, that guy's playing here. Like
The table
this-
was having a blast that
Yeah,
day
this-
that they had a problem with.
I think so many
Short-sighted,
people.
I think.
I think so many people making business decisions are so short-sighted.
Maybe there's just more to it that we don't understand.
Yeah, Nick
You
was
know?
trying to poach players. Obviously, the daily regs
Right.
who are playing the 5-10 game.
Ryan sent him in there. He's like, you
Ryan-
gotta get
Yeah.
them.
See the guy with
Ryan's
the
a mastermind.
see the guy
obviously.
with the sunglasses, the hoodie, and
And the
the
backpack.
headset and the backpack.
Yeah.
Get him.
Who brings his own sandwich in a paper bag?
Get
Yeah.
him.
Get him.
It kind of reminds me of when I used to travel around more and play these low stakes casino games. I used to vlog everywhere I went, and half the time the casino would be like, "Hey, don't film in here, in the poker room," you know, because that's our.
And that's just free
Like-
eyes on their shit.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like, I'm literally not
crazy.
asking for any money. I'm giving you publicity.
I
It's
know.
gonna get like 50,000 views. People have never heard of this poker room. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people are just like Valerie said, just their business decisions are crazy. We ran into a guy today that shouldn't be in business giving tickets, over at the airport.
Oh my god.
What happened?
I had my headphones.
She
in. I
she
didn't
got
hear
me a
anything.
fine. She got me a
I got
fine.
him fined. I saw him pull up. I grab my bag and I go into his car, and the guy's like yelling something. I have my headphones in. I take them out when I sit down. He's like, "You're not allowed to load in here in this lane."
Where was this?
He didn't-
LAX?
Yeah, no.
No?
John Wayne.
Burbank.
Oh, Burbank.
No,
But
John
he was
Wayne.
in the
John
wrong.
Wayne. Yeah, I was like,
Whatever.
really? Not
Oh yeah, it wasn't Burbank. Sorry, I
That's
used
all
to
right.
fly in Burbank.
Burbank's
Orange
Burbank.
County. Orange County.
Santa Ana.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was in the wrong lane, but there was no cars there. It was so empty.
It's funny because usually Santa Ana Airport's really chill.
So this is what it was. So I'll give you the
He took a
impersonation.
picture of his license
Yeah, so
plate and
here's
he
the-
yelled at us.
Yeah, so here's the so there's the lane I guess you're supposed to be in. There's no traffic.
Yeah.
And I pull up here because there's a bunch of people on the curb, but it's also like a slow down lane. Well, he must have been obviously telling her he can't pick you up there, he can't pick you up there. And she doesn't hear him, like she said. And she gets in the car, she goes like this, "What did he say?" Like to me, "What did he say?" And I go, "Who?" And I see a guy standing in front of my truck like this with like a blinking light.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Now that you didn't listen to me, he's getting fined." Click, 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 slash, whatever. And he just like walked away. And I said, "Did I just get fined?"
Yeah.
And
probably
so
did.
I got him
know what
fined.
It's gonna be. So now
He's rich. Whatever. He's
come
fine.
on, man. You cost me money, man.
That was so weird because it was just like such a casual. I just walk up to his car.
That
And
airport
it
is
took
so chill. I'm surprised they had someone
0.2
like that.
seconds to get into my truck.
nobody likes you.
There was no.
Yeah, was it the big lifted truck?
Yeah, it
was
was.
the
It was the
problem right there.
Canyon Arrow.
Dude, if I saw that thing, I would give it.
Yeah.
anything
Not
I
even
could.
lifted.
Canyon
It's not even
Arrow.
lifted that
It's not?
much. No, it's factory lift. Like it's their 4x4.
GMC don't make trucks that high.
Okay, listen to me, man. You're a gambler. You want to put a little money on it?
No, I
All
believe
right.
you now.
The AT4 Sierra has a little mini factory lift, which is why I went with it, because I don't want a big lift, and it has just enough to be like a bigger truck, but factory, so you don't have to it's not fucking around with you constantly.
It
with
looks
the
badass. I'm not
yeah.
even trying to, like, again,
So-
I'm not trying to kiss up.
so
I
yeah.
like that truck. It's a lift kit, but it's not like one of those.
It's factory, swear.
It's not one of those.
No,
you know,
it's
that
not
you're
one of
He
those.
drives. Have you ever been in the car with him? He drives across 3 lanes at all times. I'm not kidding. He's like this between 3 different lanes, and people got to get the fuck out of the way. And I don't know how he doesn't bang up his car. Honestly, I don't even think he's paying attention. To be honest,
To what?
to the road, because you don't have to.
To what?
You're like the alpha in the road. You're like, get the fuck out of my way. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Wait, I feel
You're
like
paying
it's
that
getting-
fine.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely not paying that fine. It's your car. You should have known better. I didn't hear him.
How's your girlfriend?
She's good.
She's sweet.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
great.
nice girl. You guys are solid. When's the
Yeah.
marriage?
Tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah,
tomorrow. I'll
before
write
I
that
go
down.
broke.
Okay, tomorrow.
God, I still have to rewatch that clip of me like lecturing you about your girlfriend and like.
What?
you
Oh,
didn't
yeah, I
see that?
remember. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
it's like my serious moment of the year.
It's fine. No, everything's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Life is good.
That's great.
The things that
she
really
probably makes
matter.
you feel better after like a night like last night.
Yeah, we went and
Yeah.
had some breakfast this morning
Yeah.
when I came here, and I told you out front before I came in, like I feel fine.
Yeah.
Because you opened the door with this like somber look.
Yeah,
on
I'm
your
like,
face.
fuck. Well,
I'm so sorry. Thanks for being here. I was like,
he texted me at 11:30, like, hey, if you have someone else,
Bring
if not, I'll be
A
there.
black suit. It's like your funeral.
yeah, like he like spoke in a quiet voice.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like no, I mean,
Did
last
you-
night.
Did he hug you? Did he give you a hug?
I don't know. You owe me one if you didn't. I think last night I was just like, you know how it is. I was just feeling
Totally.
like
Yeah,
shit,
you were in the
like-
dump. He
Yeah.
texted and said, if there's any way you have anyone else, I said, no, I'll see you tomorrow at 1.
And what did I say?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Be there, man. I don't like to bail on commitments.
No,
you know?
I know. I appreciate
It was
that.
even like a lot for me to text you that. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was asking Rampage. I was like, I really feel bad about texting him, and Rampage was like, I've canceled on him 100 times.
He
Just
has.
do it.
There's a flake. I know he
was
said
like-
that.
I was like, okay, I'll ask.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it
Yeah.
didn't work, man.
He
I
did
don't
it
know
3
how to
times.
do it.
Hey, it's going to take me a little longer with traffic at that time. Can I come back? Yeah, whatever. Just fine. I got a producer here. Just whatever works best for you.
Yeah.
Rampage,
Yeah.
Mr. Ambassador.
No, but I'm glad I came today. I felt
Yeah.
honestly, I felt fine.
Good.
Today, you know,
Good. I'm glad
ready
you're
to just
good.
get back on the horse.
I just got a couple more really nonsense questions.
Okay,
Unless
shoot,
Veronica
yeah.
has anything on
No.
those subjects. She likes to usually talk about the marriage stuff. Warn you against it. But now she's different because she has this boyfriend and she's probably all for it.
Oh,
So most memorable
congratulations.
hand for you and why since you've been on our stream? Is there anything that sticks out like the best, like the most, your favorite hand? It could just be an easy one because you won the most.
Well, there's the straightforward ones, the big 2. I had a straight flush versus the nut flush.
Against Andy?
Yeah.
That was your first problem.
That, my bad.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I hate you too. Yeah.
There's where it started. Go on. No, I'm
get
kidding.
it, you
Yeah.
know.
I remember it.
Yeah, that was a
That
lot.
was sick.
That was insane.
That was insane.
And then obviously the aces and kings hand.
That was
That
insane.
was just, I don't even know how
Yeah,
that happened.
that
So
was
those
insane.
2, but aside from like those obvious layups of an answer, I played this one against, I played 2 that like are important to me. I played one against Henry once where I bluffed him on the river, and it was like the biggest bluff I ever made at the time. I bet 80,000, and I was
So
like,
you're proud.
oh yeah,
It was a big move.
I was shitting myself.
You were probably shaking.
I was.
Yeah.
And he folded pocket kings.
Whoa.
And it was an overpair.
What a beast.
It was pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome, yeah.
And then I had a hand where I got a double up from Garrett, and that was like very sentimental to me. Not to get corny, but like I watched this guy,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
for
there's no
years, and I
corny.
finally got to play against him.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And I had aces, and he went all in. So I was like, oh my god, this is sweet.
$1 million
cool.
cash game. If you got a seat, would you play?
I probably could get a seat. It's just I can't afford it. So
Yeah. And you like having all your own action because
Yeah,
how
I
you
mean,
feel about it.
I was talking to Ethan about it, and he was like, you should sell and play it because
Yeah.
it's so good for YouTube.
Yeah.
And it honestly kind of, I've never really prioritized my YouTube channel. It's always
Yeah.
just been a hobby.
Yeah.
But man, he got the wheels spinning in my head about that. I kind of do want to play it, but I've never sold action. I don't even know how. So,
You know, I never told you this. Sorry to switch gears, but sorry. That was, yeah. But I just was thinking of it, you know, not a player that played often, and I won't name who, but you know the hand you mentioned with King Aces? There was actually a player that was in the game that another player knew that was his friend, and he won't play there anymore because he thought it didn't make sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Isn't that something? I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
Not surprised.
like no one's ever saw
Yeah,
that.
like that's never happened. So
Not
it's kind of
surprised.
crazy. Yeah.
It was a little spooky.
Yeah.
You know.
What'd you think of the Chris hand with GT? What'd you think of all that? Do you remember it? The 8-6 suited?
You would hate me, but I don't know if
You
I
didn't
even
even know.
saw it.
You didn't even saw it.
No,
Okay.
'cause there's people blabbering about cheating, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I know the hand. Yeah, is this where Ludacris like called a re-raise and he flopped trips?
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Aces
what-
got cracked.
Yeah, but what GT doesn't understand, or maybe he does and he's just choosing to ignore it, like all the times that people play stupid and miss and you just win a pot
Yeah.
with aces,
You don't
like
even
you don't
think
think
of it,
about
right?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think about
I
it.
know. And Chris does that on the regular. You know, he's out of his mind.
Yeah, people play bad all the time. They're going to get there sometimes.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes. Big deal.
Future in poker? Any plans? Just playing it by ear?
Just playing it by ear. I want to just play more hustler, like I said, and I kind of like the little lane I'm in now, so try to do more of that. I really do want to play some Poker Go stuff, but I don't even know like how to get in there.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
I don't think I am.
Yeah, no, you can't. We won't let you. No, I'm kidding. I can make a call for you. You want to play?
I do. I want to play something.
All right, we'll
like,
get you
no
on.
Gamble,
We'll
no
get you
future or
on, yeah.
something. Oh,
Well, I'll text Brent Hanks for you.
I have his number. We
Then
talked.
text him.
I think
He'll
he
get you on.
wants to get me in. It just hasn't happened. I think.
Okay.
Unless
yeah.
there's something I don't know.
Yeah, get in there. Have some fun.
I want to have
Wear
some
a
fun.
hustler shirt.
I will.
Okay.
Also,
All right.
I really like playing with like interesting celebrities. Like we had Magnus Carlsen
Yeah.
on last year. He's like the chess player.
Yep.
That was like the most fun I've ever had playing poker.
Really?
Yeah. And I know like sometimes Neymar, soccer
Yeah,
player,
yeah.
he plays, and some other soccer players play. Like playing against like real life awesome people like that is really cool.
That's cool,
And
yeah.
Hustler is oddly connected. Like I got to play against Ryan Garcia. How
Yeah.
did that even happen?
Well, that's because Ryan is like a gem in the industry. Ryan's
Yeah.
very well connected.
Yeah, Ryan Feldman.
Feldman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. Sometimes he'll just have someone on that I'm like, what the hell? Like when he said Magnus was playing, he was just like, yeah, some chess guy named Magnus Carlsen's playing. I'm like,
Dude, I was sitting at Hustler having like steamed fish with you or steamed veg. And like Ryan Feldman comes up to me and he's like, hey, we're playing 510. Do you want to come play? And I'm like, okay. He's like, just for a couple hours before the live stream. Okay. I sit down. Fucking Mr. Beast is sitting right there.
yeah, like that.
Like
That's
that. And I'm
nuts,
just like,
yeah.
what is going on? It's so random.
Yeah, so I would say future in poker, it would be cool to play against more people like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Like
yeah.
that's actually
Yeah,
the
we'll-
only
we'll-
time I've begged Ryan Feldman for a seat in a game.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I understand.
I was up his ass about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, last two questions before your closing comments, unless Val has something as well. What would you change in the poker community and why? And what do you like most about the poker community and why?
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
I think what I would change is the easy one. It seems like people. I just wish people had more perspective. I hate to sound like all high and mighty because
No, say what you want. If it's your truth, say it.
I'm a victim to it too. Like sometimes I get in my own head and forget. But and I'm mostly speaking to Hustler Casino Live. Like we all have a lot of money to gamble with that almost the entire world doesn't. The entire like world population.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, like you're in like the 1% of the 1%, you know. It's pretty fucking sweet. And all these like problems that we have with each other, like me and Nik Airball or
Yeah.
Andy or whatever, like or GT and Luda or any of the beefs.
Yes,
like,
yes.
It's all just noise. Like,
You know,
it's
that's
all
my go-to.
bullshit, you know. It's
That's
all
my
bullshit.
go-to. Like if I'm down about a loss or about
Yeah.
something that's going on relative to poker, I go to family, kids.
Yeah.
I'm able to play in this game that most people in the world can't play, right? I get the luxury of being able to help create it, and I just have to bring myself back to reality because we, like you said, we just get lose perspective of like shit.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I would change is I wish everyone was a little more like in touch with that.
Yeah.
You know, I came with my family from Argentina in 2002. And when we came, like my dad told me when I was older because I was only 7 at the time. But when I grew up, he told me like we came over with, we had just under like $5,000, I think. And that was it. No job here, no nothing. We just try to figure it out. And now looking back, it's like, holy shit, you know,
American dream, right?
Yeah, my life is so sweet. Even just a few years ago, like I was delivering pizzas, going to college in debt, didn't know what the hell I was doing with my life.
So cool.
It's so cool. And
Yeah.
like, so whenever there's like beefs or I lose or I punt in a hand, like same as you, I try to just
Go back.
just go back and be like, everything's pretty great. You know, it's
yeah.
tough to bitch about this stuff.
That's true. It's good.
Yeah. And then things that I like about it,
And why?
things that I like about it and why. I guess the personal relationships are pretty sweet. I've met people who I never, like probably me and you would have never met if it
That's
wasn't
right.
for poker, you
You're
know?
right. Yeah.
And there's been a lot like that. Like I'm somehow really good friends with like some kid from Boston who started a YouTube channel. You know? Like how the hell are me and Rampage like really close friends now? He's born 3,000 miles away almost.
Yeah.
You know, it's
it
insane.
brought you together.
Yeah, so I think like the whole community aspect can be pretty sweet too. There's a lot of upside to it. Met a lot of cool people.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Val, you got anything?
No.
Got any final thoughts besides how awesome I am?
No, I guess I would just say that to anyone who's made it this far, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And I still find it odd that people give a shit what I have to say, you know, because I still kind of feel like the pizza delivery dude. Like
yeah.
I'm just playing a card game, and
You're a big deal in the poker community. I'm not trolling
I know,
trolling
but
you.
it's silly
It's
to
crazy,
me
yeah.
still sometimes. You know.
Yeah, well, good
So,
for you. You earned it.
Thank
if
you,
that
sir.
matters, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, you absolutely earned it. I think you're one of the classiest people in poker. If I have to give my opinion, and I'm glad you're part of what we do.
Yeah, it's been fun so far.
Yeah.
You know. So
Cool.
Thank you guys.
All right, and I guess if you guys didn't know this is the Nick Vertucci Show. I am Nick Vertucci,
No
and
idea.
for Vernica and Mr. Poker Mariano, and V out.